Hey folks, Mal the Terrain Tutor back in the studio and back with another technical terrain tutorial. And we're back in the Foliage playlist because we're looking at hedges. So we're going to be looking at various substructures, various different glues, various different coatings, various different techniques, and overall show you a load of different ways of doing various different hedges. Come on! Right guys, when it comes to making hedges, there's a whole load of substructures you can go for. Now I've got a few here. It is not all of them by far, but it's enough to get you started. Now, honourable mention, yeah, this isn't a substructure as such. This is clump foliage, and the reason I've included this is specifically hedge and tree foliage from Javis Scenics. And obviously all I've done is I've just hot glued it to the base. So I just wanted to throw this out there because it's a very, very easy way. Cost wise, you're probably going to probably be paying about £1 a foot of hedge for this sort of stuff, okay? So I wanted to throw that in there, yeah? Now, off the back of that, we've got Lychee. Now, you can, well known in the modelling world, yeah, because we already use this as buses. Yeah, this is actually used as a substructure as well. So not only can you just glue it down like that and it will look fine as a, hedge, yeah, but we can use this to actually coat and create other sort of textures and that sort of stuff. So we're going to be doing that. Now moving on, they're split into sort of two main groups, which is solid or fibrous. Now the fibre ones I've kept over here. Yeah, these are the solid ones. So next up, yeah, we have wire wool. Now this is just standard wire wool. Okay, and what I've done with this is, yeah, you get a piece like this, and you spread it all out, and essentially what you're trying to do is make a thin sheet of it. Okay, once you've got a thin sheet of it, you roll it up into a ball. Yeah, and that is how you get your clump. Okay, now this is relatively solid. Yeah, you can pull it really, really thin, but it gets a bit weak when you pull it really, really thin. Yeah, so if you want a fibre really, so fibrous as in you can look through them, yeah, you want to be looking more at something like coconut fibre. Yeah, so if we move on to coconut fibre, yeah, if you bring that, you see it's really wiry. Yeah, really, really sort of gappy, and that'll make really nice hedges that you can see through in parts. Now this is using coconut fibre. Okay, and I got the coconut fibre from a plant liner. Yeah, out of my local sort of DIY store, and that, when you see hanging plants and they've got these sort of linings in, yeah, stop all the dirt falling out, it's coconut fibre. And all it is, it's just a matter of pulling it out. Yeah, I'm going to make a mess here. Yeah, getting out the really big bits. Yeah, and then just teasing the fibres and then folding them over on themselves. Yeah, so you can make a hedge-like structure. Once that's glued down, you come along with a pair of tweezers, a pair of scissors, yeah, and you just trim it down. Now it's important to note that in the sort of diorama scene in the railway sort of community, they'll often just use this bare and then coat this. For wargaming, it's not tough enough. Yeah, it needs to be primed. Yeah, so this is going to have to be primed along with a load of other ones. But if you've seen on other videos where people have used this sort of stuff, they'll often use it bare, yeah, and just literally spray adhesive on and flock it up. That's fine if you're not going to touch, yeah, the piece. But obviously with hedges, we're often picking them up like that. You see, I don't even want to pick that one up yet because I know it's just going to fall apart. So it needs priming. Now, stepping up, we can go to high quality fibre. Yeah, and when we talk about high quality fibre, we are talking about essentially vulcanized horsehair or rubberized horsehair. Now, this actually isn't horsehair, it's actually coconut fibre again, but it's vulcanized, yeah? And it comes from these. Now, these are upholstery sheets. Yeah, top end, it's really good. It comes from the Victorian times when this is how they used to like make their cushions for seats and stuff like that. But it's incredibly durable. And basically, back then it was horsehair, right now it's coconut fibre, and it's given a bit of a rubber coating. Yeah, which makes it really tough and durable. Now, all I did is I cut a sliver off, yeah, so I had an inch, yeah. I glued it down and you can see the bottom compressed layer there, and then I just came along with my tweezers, yeah, and I just started snipping it out and just rounding it off a bit. Really easy to make. Cost wise, yeah, you can buy an A4 sheet of this stuff for £1. Yeah, Antonicity's workshop sell it, and you're going to get out of that, you're going to probably get easily 4 or 5 foot worth of hedges. Yeah, so that's vulcanized horsehair or coconut fibre. Yeah, so a lot of very cheap options on that side. Yeah, obviously a lot cheaper than going for this, but this is like, you know, glue it down, it's done, innit? You know what I mean? We've still got to spray paint these, we've got to spray adhesive on them, we've got to put flock or clump foliage on, etc. So in that case, you know, the price of these do go up a bit. So always look at your options, guys, you know what I mean? Right, sliding it over, let's look at the solid core structures. Now, first off, foam. Okay, now this is HD foam, yeah, and it's come as a sheet like that. I've glued it down, and all I've done is I've basically chipped away at it, yeah, to make nodules, which will give me my bushes once they're all clumped up. Okay, yeah, nice and solid, nice and hard. Yeah, I know once that's done, it'll be fine. Yeah, moving on, we've got upholstery foam. Now this is composite chip foam. Yeah, this stuff. Yeah, you get it in chairs and office furniture and that sort of stuff. This composite chip foam is really good for this sort of stuff because it rips apart really well and clumpy. I mean, it's used for clump foliage after all. Yeah, but basically cut a sliver out so you've got the flat end. Yeah, put the flat end down and then just pull away at it. And once again, you can see how I've gone for that little clumpy effect. Yeah, much like with these. Dead easy to do. Yeah. It'll look great when it's done. Next up, we've got wire. Now, you can use wire as a substructure, okay? This can be quite expensive unless you've got a good source of wire, so just be aware of that. You can buy sheets of this, an A4 sheet for £1, which will probably do, I'd say, you probably get about maybe 1.5 foot, 2 foot. Yeah, 2 foot of what you call of hedges out of an A4 sheet of this stuff. Yeah, and all I've done is I've got the sheet, yeah, I've then bent the first edges over to give me like where I'm going to glue it down, and then I've bent it together. Yeah, that's then been glued down. I've then ripped here and here and tucked the edges in. Yeah, do you see? And then I've just come along and I've pinched it and I've squeezed it and I've twisted it just to make it a little bit irregular. Now this works really well because we use hot glue on this and the grid soaks the hot glue in and grips everything. Yeah, so it's a good method, but you know, there are easier ways. I wanted to include it because it is a good method. Now finally, you've got the old scouring pads. You know, these are your kitchen scouring pads. Now you can get all sorts. I know Viv over at Rubbish In, Rubbish Out, he does hedges, but he's got concrete ones of these, which are very fibrous and they look great. I haven't been able to find any of them yet, but I'll give it a go when I find some. In the meantime, I'm using the old style, which is, you know, the standard scourers. These have just been folded over, hot glued down, and then a pair of scissors, tweezers, yeah, in just to chip them down, you know, get a basic shape to it. Now it's important to note that when it comes to actually clumping all these up, yeah, obviously we don't need to clump that up, yeah, but when it comes to clumping all these up, there's two different ways of approaching it. These, the fibre-ish ones, they're going to be the ones that we use our flocks on, okay? Yeah, I've also got a bit of coarse flock here, yeah, which will give us an even better result. And what I'll do is I'll do a couple of different methods on them so you can see if, you know, how different things work with them. Now, with regards to the solid structures, yeah, with the solid structures you need to use more clump foliage. If you use flock, yeah, with the solid structures, what you'll end up with is lumps of flock and it won't look right. Yeah, so you need to use this sort of stuff, yeah, which is clump foliage. Yeah, and we've got videos on how to make this if you want to make it, or you can go out and buy it, either way. Yeah, but basically I've just got a mixed tub of, you know, my favourite colours, and then I will use this to clump these up. But before I can do that, yeah, I need to do a little bit of priming. Now, as I said, these need priming, yeah, because that won't stand up to wargaming. These need priming to grip them together. You could get away with not priming these because they're already green, but I'm going to anyway. Same with these. These, yeah, the only one I'm going to prime out of these is this one, yeah,
And the reason for that is because it's yellow underneath, yeah, my concern is if I have a little bit of clump foliage which falls off this, what we'll get is we'll get a little patch of yellow showing through. So in that situation, you know, you will get bits fall off through wear and tear. So always consider the base colour of your material, yeah, before you add your clump foliage. If it's something that's going to shine through, yeah, and sort of show it up, spray it with something, you know, change its colour. Yeah, I'm not so concerned with this. If a bit throws off, it's green, you know, we'll be okay. You know, it's not going to be glaring and it can be fixed. Yeah, with this one, you still glare, so I need to get them primed up. And to prime them up, there's two different colours I'm going to go for. Yeah, I have Army Painter primers here. Yeah, I have a Angel Green. Yeah, which I'm going to use for all the solid ones. Okay. And then I've got Leather Brown. Yeah, this is my second can after the first one exploded. Thanks, Jace. Yeah, and I'm going to be using this one on the fibre ones to sort of replicate branches, yeah, and get them together, if you know what I mean. Right, so with that in mind, that's my next job, guys. So I'm going to go take these to primed, and when we come back, they'll be all primed and be ready to start clumping and flocking them up, yeah? So these are all primed up now, guys, and as you can see, yeah, I've gone for the green with the clump foliage and the Lychee and the Scouring Pad and the wire. I just didn't want the metal shining through. Yeah, now I've gone for the brown for the coconut fibre and the vulcanised rubberised horsehair. Yeah, with coconut fibre. Yeah, and on top of that, I've given the foam a bit of a spray with the black. Now, this isn't so much to get rid of the colour. This is, I gave it a quick spray just so I'm going to be using hot glue on this. Hot glue can melt foam, giving it a bit of a paint coat first protects against that. And then finally, yeah, the wire wall. Now, I did initially spray these, spray these brown, yeah, but it was just too light, it didn't work. Yeah, so I went with the black and we'll just flock these up, you know what I mean? Now, for the next bits, we've got to do some flocking. So with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go over to the bench, yeah? Because it's a bit easier there, you know what I mean? We've reached the point where we want to actually start flocking these up. Now, for all the fibrous ones, what we're going to be going for is specifically flock and sort of coarse ground foliage, yeah? Not clump foliage. This is the best thing for the fibrous sort of stuff. Now, when it comes to sort of gluing it on, the very best thing is something like a spray adhesive, a latex spray adhesive. Yeah, I'm using Blue Tack, Fast Tack. There's a load of different ones, yeah? And all I'm going to do is I'm not going to go in heavy, yeah? I'm just going to go quick blast, quick blast, quick blast, yeah? See how it frosted? Now it will go slightly clearer, yeah? And that's as it's going tacky. And all we need to do is just come along, yeah? And we'll go with a little bit of a highlight first, so a little patch there. I don't want to put this on too much. I don't want to make too much of a concentration. Same there. Yeah, just a little. Yeah, a little bit there. And just drift a little across the top there. Yeah, then go for a mid-tone. So like this one. Like I say, with it being excessively sticky, you could easily glue lots and lots of clumps to this and it just come out as a solid wedge, which isn't what you want because you want some of that brown substructure showing through. And then finally, yeah, I'll come in with just a pinch of dark around the bottom. Just to... Are you right there, Wills?
Yeah.
Just to change the shade a bit. And if I bring that up, how lovely does that look? Really easy. Yeah? Yeah, you can see how the brown fibres work, but they only work because we sprinkled little amounts on. And this is on, it's not coming off, you know. And also with it being a latex glue, you'll be able to hit this down with watered down PVA and it will seal as well, making it really durable for our wargaming stuff. Now, next job is I'm going to do pretty much the same as that, yeah, on all of these. So there we have it. Right, let's go through them. Right, vulcanized horsehair that you've just seen. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, look at that substructure. Yeah, with a simple bit of flocking. Yeah, next up we've got our coconut fibre. Yeah, same technique, but I've gone lighter because I really wanted that bracken feel to it. You know what I mean? A little bit of foliage on a lot of what you call it, sort of branches. I don't know if bracken's the right one. Right, moving on, we've got our lichen. Yeah, and they're beautiful as well. Yeah, dead easy to do. I mean, that was literally just hot glued down, primed, sprayed, sprinkled. Job done. Okay, probably the easiest, with the exception of the hedge foliage that we showed. Yeah, to put together. Now onto the wire wool. Yeah, there you go. That's not the best side. There you are. Now wire wool, it clumps up. Yeah, it's very fine, and so when you spray it with a spray adhesive, it's pretty much solid. Yeah, so what you need to bear in mind is you can pull it a lot thinner, but it doesn't have the strength that something like coconut fibre has. Okay, so it's good for clumps and that sort of stuff and big clouds. What's that? Look at that. Yes, I've got Willow in the studio with me today, and who's that then?
Snowman!
It's Snowman. Right, let me finish this, Wills.
Can I tell you one thing? I'm making all of your blue tack into stuff so you remember them.
Thanks, Wills. And then finally, guys, that's our ripped upholstery foam, yeah? I have all the clumpy ones with the foliage, with the flocking on. That's probably my favourite. Yeah, so that's that's the flocks. Now we need to go on to working with the clump foliages for covering it over. So we're going to go back to the desk for this one. Right guys, next up we need to look at clump foliage, and this is our sort of solid substructures. So, our scouring pad, our foam and our wire mesh. Now I've got simple 3-tone clump foliage. Yeah, if I grab it out. Yeah, you can see it's just a mix of, mid, light and dark. Okay, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to do one to show you, yeah, and then I'll get the others done off camera. Yeah, first I want a load of this down, yeah, which is why I've got the paper down. Yeah, I then need my wire, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the hot glue on here. Now you can use stay tacky adhesives, that sort of stuff, but it does get a bit messy. Don't use PVA, whatever you do, don't use PVA. Yeah, easiest option, hot glue. Now this is very hot because it's been running for a while, so I'm going to have to watch my fingers. I'm going to start at the bottom, yeah, and do one side, flip it over, do the other side, and then I'm going to do the top, yeah? So. Right guys, and there you are. Doesn't it look beautiful? Okay, now it is hot glued in, so you do get the occasional sort of hot glue fibre. Yeah, the best thing is to actually wait until you've sealed this with watered down PVA. Because it's hot glue, the clumps won't fall off when you hit it with watered down PVA. But if you wait until you've sealed it before you pull all those sort of little threads off, yeah, use a pair of tweezers. It works better. You're not going to pull any clumps off. But look at that. How beautiful is that? And that is on top of a wire substructure. Really, really beautiful. Yeah, now we've got the foam and the scouring pads to do, so I'm going to do those now and I'll bring them back in a second. Right guys, that's that done. And obviously we've got the wire substructure, which you've already seen, and that is come out beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, dead easy to do. Yeah, obviously these need sealing with watered down PVA. Nothing special to that. Next off we've got the foam one. Yeah, another one. Look at that. They make such wonderful, deep, thick hedges. Yeah, it's because the substructure is so thick to start off with. Yeah, and even if we would go over to the, to the thin scouring pad. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Lovely sits on the base. It's got that sheerness of hedges rather than the overgrownness, but it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Right, let me get everything together and we'll just round it off, yeah? Right guys, there they are in all their glory. Yeah, when it comes to substructures, obviously scouring pad, wire mesh, foam, upholstery foam, wire wool, lichen, coconut fibre and rubberized horsehair, which is probably coconut fibre to be truthful. Yeah, wonderful effects. Everything from really deep, full line of sight blocking foliage, yeah, to really wispy stuff that looks really realistic. Really realistic, yeah. To be perfectly honest, these two are my personal favourites. I do like a good clump foliage hedge, yeah, but it's the realism of these that pays off. But you can only really get away with it with tough fibres, if you know what I mean. Now, moving forward, obviously when it comes to glues, the spray adhesives for the flocking sort of stuff, number one, always number one. When you're going for the clump foliage, yeah, you can use things like silicons as well as hot glue. So if you don't want to buy a hot glue gun, you can use silicons and that sort of stuff. It works really well. And if you're always looking for the easiest option, there is always clump, you know, tree and hedge foliage, which works really well as well, yeah, because it is what it is. So there you have it, guys. Now obviously these need sealed with watered down PVA. It's just a matter of giving them a spray, letting them dry, because the glues we've used aren't water soluble. Yeah, the spray adhesive isn't, the hot glue isn't, silicone isn't. We don't have to worry about those. So that's it. That's all the common substructures. Obviously there's more different substructures, there's more different things that you can put on them, but overall, yeah, that should give you something good to start with. Right, let's start for the long shot.
So guys, there's a load of different substructures for you, a load of different coatings, techniques, glues, but obviously there's more. Now, if you've got any suggestions and things you think I should have included or should look at in the future, in the comments, guys. And if you've got any questions, you know I'm here to help. Get those in the comments and I'll do my best to help you guys. Now, obviously like it and share it, but more importantly, if you really do like these videos and you'd like more of them and you'd like to support what I'm doing in the studio and that sort of stuff, we are currently $40 off our latest goal on Patreon. Yeah, so I'm asking as many people as possible, just chip in $1 a month, yeah? Do it on Patreon, help us reach the goal. Terrain takes time, terrain tutorials take ages, especially when you add in all the editing and all that sort of stuff. But I love making them, and I love making them for you guys. I just need help to get the time to make more of them for you and the materials and all that sort of stuff. So genuinely, guys, if you love them, please consider jumping on board Patreon. If you're not into the Patreon thing, there's a PayPal link below. You can send a couple of quid. If you're new to the channel, yeah, you can jump on and watch it, subscribe there. And if you're looking for more terrain tutorials and that sort of stuff, there's videos there. And in the meantime, guys, yeah, you've got a load of techniques. You better get cracked on, terrainiacs. I'll see you Sunday. Ta-da.